haven't felt this in ages, and I've no more patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger. You get stronger.
Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Welcome to Owlet Season 3.5. We are here with our second match of the preseason. We have Odyssey versus Talon Redshirts. This is going to be an amazing match. I am excited. I am K-Wing. I will be your host and your play-by-play caster, and I'm here with Adam. Adam, how are you doing?
I'm doing perfectly well. Thank you very much, K-Wing. Today we're going to be taking a trip to the lovely Busan over in Korea, and we're going to be seeing the second game of our Majors preseason. And I mean, I think I can speak for everyone when I say I'm hoping that we get a better game than our first game of the season, given it was a pretty definitive stomp over the game was Bench Boys versus Scandals, and Bench Boy 3-0 swept Scandals in a quite dominant fashion, I think I can pretty safely say.
Yeah, I did tune in a little bit to that game. That was a very good showing by Bench Boys. I really do hope that, like you said, we have not a better game, but definitely a closer game. Very excited to see if these two teams can deliver.
Definitely. And I mean, when you're going to this matchup, obviously, like I just previously said, we're heading to Busan as our first map of the series. Busan obviously has, I think, in comparison to every single other control map, it's definitely one with the most variance when it comes to each of the three objectives.
Absolutely. I mean, just going in between the three, it's so different in between, just in locale, in the point. High ground is emphasized versus de-emphasized on some points versus others. Mecha base versus city. It's just completely different. So let's look at the two rosters of these teams. So on Odyssey, we have Zim82 and How Fiber as the on. We also have Rip and Pippin, Sparkles, Mist, and Winterhaven.
Of course, important to mention is Winterhaven is actually a ringer for this match. Obviously, circumstances dictated that Odyssey unfortunately had a very early season drop, and they were forced to call in a ringer. So Winterhaven actually going to be subbing in to help Odyssey hopefully achieve victory against the Talon Redshirts here. And as I said that, we are going to be starting the game for today, heading, as I said, to lovely South Korea.
Yeah.
And I mean, quite frankly, it's looking like it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Just very quickly, over there on Talon Redshirts, we do have Blue Wolf, Josebird, Idle Hell, Link, Luminescence, and Cellarman rounding out their roster. They have not had to call in any ringers, so they do have a little bit of advantage that they have all of their team that they've been scrimming with and practicing with since they've been formed.
Definitely. And looking at the teams that are rolling out here, it looks like both teams deciding to go with a double shield. One of the main differences being Blue Wolf, of course, deciding to go for the Echo pick, which is actually pretty interesting, especially compared to Halfaber's Hanzo pick, of course, dictating somewhat more of more damage, more burst potential. Those sticky bombs and the beam obviously doing a lot of burst damage, especially including to shields, which is sometimes not the most common usage of it, but also a very important one when it comes to it. Obviously, with an Echo Pocket here, as well as they very quickly are both heading to point.
Yeah, Odyssey, Blue Wolf, like you said, gets the quick pick onto Mist there with those sticky bombs. Very important getting that early pick. But as I say that, Link goes down. Link on that Baptiste is able to provide that healing, and Rip and Pippin. Blue Wolf just finding 2 picks already in this team fight early on. Very, very crucial. That Baptiste on that support role is able to provide so much healing, and very dangerous there by the Mercy, going a little bit off the map there, but very safe from the enemy team. And it does look like Talon Redshirts are going to be finding the picks necessary to keep the point, to take the point.
I mean, like, looking at that match, I'm obviously, or at that initial fight, rather, I'm obviously looking a lot at Blue Wolf, obviously doing so much work on that Echo. Like I said, that burst potential, obviously, coming in really clutch, getting that opening pick with the sticky bombs, damage boosted, obviously doing a ton of damage. and the beam, focusing beam, great follow-up, getting another pick. And as I said, that Mist picks up the Mercy Pocket
on Luminescence, and that is such an important piece of utility for Talon Redshirts, and Salaryman also going down on that Ash. That resurrection, that ability that Mercy has is just so important and so game-changing, bringing back someone from being eliminated, not having them have to make that long trek back from spawn is so influential and so important, and having that being picked off so early is very important. And as I say, that Luminescence again getting picked off after that fight is over, very, very important, as that Mercy is going to be something that you really can't go into the fight without, so they're going to have to wait.
Yeah, just a little bit of an unfortunate late stagger there, and like you said, you really want anyone except for Mercy to be the one falling there. I mean, anyone else, there's a potential for a resurrection, but when Mercy goes down, like, you're playing with one down, you're losing the real benefit you get from playing that Mercy.
Yeah, the Bob coming out doesn't find anything, but Rippin' Pippin does go down on the Baptiste, has to make the trek back, will not be there to drop that window. That amplification matrix that just increases damage so much, and you can see the impact. Idle Hell, Blue Wolf, Sellerman, both finding picks onto Odyssey members there, and that is looking like a team fight win for Talon Redshirts. Very, very close here. We've seen the point flip-flopping over a lot here. Talon Redshirts are going to be climbing up past 50.
Definitely, but I mean, looking at the ultimates, the blue check marks, you could say, on the on both teams, I'm definitely thinking the advantage here is on the side of Odyssey, just because they have the Sigma ultimate and the window in addition to the bongo. And the Mercy ult, while good, isn't really going to be winning any fights, whereas even as I say, the Sigma ult and the window often have a lot more value.
Miss finds a pick onto Salaryman. That's a big form of damage going down on the side of Talon Redshirts. And finding a pick onto Blue Wolf is also very, very important, that DPS. No real important forms of damage, but as I say, that Odyssey finding a lot of very important picks, and Luminescence going down will seal the deal. 85% for Talon Redshirts, but Odyssey is taking the point and increasing their capture percentage.
Definitely, but what's really important there is that Odyssey caps that point without using the bongo, which is really big. Bongo, of course, being one of those ultimates that is one of the most impactful when it comes to winning team fights. They managed to win with only using one tank ult, whereas the defensive Talon Redshirts uses both of theirs and still loses the point.
Yeah, Salaryman, Bob goes in back there, does force out the immortality, very important, and still Rippin' Pippin is going to go down to that Bob there. That is very important there for on the side of Talon Redshirts, as that Baptiste, as I said, so influential with that healing and that amplification matrix, provides so much healing, so much damage, very influential character to lose there. But overtime coming out there, 99% for Odyssey, but they're losing a lot of people, and the point is going to flip over to Talon Redshirts. Oh, but Rippin' Pippin is going to come back on the Baptiste, but they are going to go down for it, and that is very, very important there, that you will not have Rippin' Pippin or Zimity 2 for this next team fight, which they need to get to fast. 91% on the point for Talon Redshirts. They need to touch right now. They have Mist and Sparkles both waiting in the wings to touch there. They are going to get the touch. Both Mist and Sparkles are going to go on the point, but the Bob for Salaryman is going to be very, very important to zone off the point. Salaryman getting the pick onto Sparkles. That is brutal. Lucia providing a lot of heals and a lot of speed boosts, a lot of mobility there. And the picks just coming in for Talon Redshirts, cleaning up the point.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it looks like it's just going to be a matter of time here before the Talon Redshirts do end up claiming this round of Busan. And as I say that, yes, it is captured by them. But I think a lot of kudos there have to go to Salaryman, because even though it's not him picking up those kills, what you might have missed there is he and the Mercy go on a really, really big flank there. Gets a massive 5-man damage boosted dynamite, hitting to all alive players, and that's just going to do so much damage. And of course that results in him getting something like 40% very quickly, getting him a Bob, which he then uses in the next team fight to pressure the tanks, which ends up being one of the main things that allows them to finish off the map, given that they still had to rush to the point, but couldn't because there was a bomb in the way, and they were just taking way too much damage.
Absolutely. Ashe is a character that, with the Mercy damage boost and with that Dynamite, as well as the halts, that combo is deadly as well. Can just get so much ult charge and just drain resources. We see here the switch, Winterhaven going to the Reinhardt. Gonna be more brawly here. You see the Lucio as well to help facilitate that brawl. And we see they're going to just crash into Talon Redshirts, and they're going to find the pickoff on the Link there. That Baptiste, as I've said, time and time again, very influential there with the healing and the damage that he can provide. And 2 picks on the side of Odyssey coming in. Fight's not over, but it does look like the point is going to go to Odyssey there. Start to tick up percentage.
Yeah, that's a nice late stagger on the Salaryman. Doesn't look like it's going to be too impactful though. And yeah, just generally with the Reinhardt, if the comp worked as it was intended to, with the Lucio speed boost, just Rein segment, just run into the enemy team with the Mei, Moira pumping out tons of healing, obviously, onto multiple targets. And when you're just rushing in that way, especially given the more stagnant nature of the Talon Redshirts team comp, it's sometimes hard to deal with.
Hank here. Oh, they're going to get crashed into by this brawl comp, and they are not prepared to face the brunt of the enemy team. Rip and Pimp is going to find the pickoff on Idaho, but Blue Wolf will find the pickoff on the Mist while their back is turned. It's going to be very, very close, but losing that main tank in the Sigma, very, very important. That is one less barrier and a lot more pressure onto that Orisa shield. And you can see Joe'sbird's health is just ticking down. The Dragon Strike comes out, finds Winterhaven, and Salaryman finds 2. That is 3 picks for Salaryman. That is 3 picks for him in that fight. And Luminescence finding that late stagger onto Rip and Pippin with the whip shot off the map. Very stylish.
And I mean, the real reason the red team is able to win that fight there, in a way they should never have been able to, is because I think it's a failure, perhaps miscommunication on the part of Mist, because he gets caught out as the red team, or sorry, rather, the Odyssey corners off Zim and rushes onto him. Mist apparently didn't understand and got caught out, and it's because of him being able to pick off, transforms what would have been a 5v6 to a 5v5.
Oh, that's a huge blizzard.
Able to turn it.
Yeah. Now Fiber, a lot of frozen people in that blizzard there, in that area of effect, and that is going to be the fight win for Odyssey, but crucially a lot of ultimates coming out on their side. They had the Shatter, the High Noon, the Beat, the Blizzard, so many ultimates, and that gives Talon Redshirts such an advantage going into this next fight here.
I mean, looking at the ultimates available to Talon Redshirts, the ult economy isn't really as bad. They both have a tank ult, and rather the difference is Odyssey has a Coalescence, whereas the Talon Redshirts have a Dragon Strike. But as I say that, both of them are used, and now it's really looking favorable to the Talon Redshirts. Yeah. But the problem here is if they can even touch the point, but the Dragon Strike is huge.
Comes out, Blue Wolf just finding 3, but they do need to touch the point. Are they going to be able to do that? The flashbang comes in. They do touch the point just barely. That flashbang from Mist catches something like 4 people. That was incredible. But they do touch the point.